It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Monday, the 8th of September. I'm Michael Groff. 11 years ago today, back in 2014, during the early morning hours, showers and thunderstorms fired up across south central Arizona, rolling into the valley and producing what would be the all-time record for the most rainfall in a single day at 3.30 inches in the bucket at Sky Harbor. Many spots around the valley had as much as 5 to 6 inches of rain. I-10 was turned into a river. Many roadways were flooded out. It was a big mess. But for today, nothing like that at all. About the only thing we have to contend with is still this low-level moisture that's sticking around here, making it very steamy outside. But as I keep telling you, it is gradually beginning to mix out. Dew points are a little bit lower today. Now, we will still have some isolated showers and thunderstorms that will bubble up this afternoon over parts of the area, but we just don't anticipate any significant threat here in the valley. As for the rest of the week, we'll continue with this drying trend. Temperatures will remain a little bit above average tomorrow, but then a cooling trend for later this week, headed toward the weekend. High temperatures will ultimately end up pretty close to, if not even slightly below, seasonal averages. And those overnight lows, they're going to get downright pleasant. Finally, we're seeing some hints, just these subtle hints of fall in the air. We got that to talk about, plus so much more going on too as we dive on in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofinggroup.com. All right, let's get into it here. The almanac from yesterday, 102 degrees the afternoon high, 83 was the morning low, pretty close to the seasonal averages of 103 and 81. Outside now at 10:35 a.m., sunny sky out there. We're sitting at 97 degrees at Sky Harbor. Yeah, it's still sticky though. Dew points up at 66, relative humidity 37%. The winds are light, the barometer falling. Speaking of dew points, let's check those out across the area, see how that drier air is working in. Yeah, we're still seeing dew points in the mid-60s, upper 60s, approaching 70 in some spots. But across Southern California, we're seeing dew points falling into the 50s. And I'm telling you, this low-level, shallow surface moisture is going to be mixing out. It may not feel like it right now, but it will. We saw dew points drop into the low and mid-50s yesterday afternoon. We'll probably see that again today. But given the amount of moisture we have and the heat of the day, we could still see some isolated showers and thunderstorms favored over the upslope areas, just like we saw over northern La Paz County yesterday. Some pretty strong storms fired up there. They tried to drift east toward the valley, but fell apart long before they could get here. And that just very well may happen again today. Satellite picture out here across the west, especially. Now, this is a different satellite view. Unfortunately, our normal view here, it has not been functional the last couple of days. But we still have the trough off the Northern California coast, and that more or less is going to become the dominant feature for us through this upcoming week. Right now, high pressure is sitting to the south of us. The upper heights have come up a bit, and that's why temperatures will be a bit warmer today and tomorrow, around 101 to 105, before we start to see a gradual lowering of those daytime highs later this week. The watch warning map across the country is almost dead silent. Yeah, we have some air quality alerts across parts of Washington and northern Idaho. There's a dense smoke advisory over there near Lake Tahoe. We've got, some lake wind advisories and those types of things. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty quiet. Yes, there's a tropical storm warning for the waters north of Hawaii. We're going to talk about that in more detail here in just a second. This might be a little detour, a little rant time, but we'll get to that in just a second. But amazingly quiet elsewhere. Right now, this is the radar composite. And yeah, there's a few showers and thunderstorms right there over the Gulf, approaching the west coast of Florida. Showers and storms in parts of Kansas right now. But other than that, man, it is really quiet around the nation, especially for this time of year. And that's just a function of this very cool fall air that we have over the eastern third of the country. In parts of northern Minnesota, Wisconsin this morning, they had frost. They had temperatures down in the mid-30s in some spots. It was quite chilly, and we're going to see that again tonight. Convective outlook for today. We do have a risk of severe storms, particularly focused over the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. In Arizona, the southeastern part of the state in the green, a few thunderstorms are possible. They'll be pretty isolated in nature, but yes, a few will pop up today. And even elsewhere, we can't completely rule out a stray storm someplace this afternoon. Just like yesterday, over northern La Paz County, we had a couple of brief severe storms there, but that's going to be about it. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, my goodness, just dead silent. Mainly due to dry air and this Saharan dust that's just sitting over the entire Atlantic Basin, just keeping a lid on the activity. Now, sea surface temperatures are still very warm in the Gulf, the Caribbean, the Atlantic Basin. So if we do start to get more favorable conditions, something could blow up pretty quickly. But right now, nothing. September 10th is the climatological peak in the hurricane season. There's a little secondary peak that happens in early October. The hurricane season itself runs through the end of November, so we have plenty of time, but right now it looks good, and we like that. Now, in the Pacific, we got a wave that's down there off the southeastern coast of Mexico, or the southern coast of Mexico, and then we've got Kiko, which has been quite an interesting storm, but not necessarily for all the right reasons. This is out there. I'll say approaching the Hawaiian Islands, but this is going to pass well north of Hawaii. They will not experience much of any consequence from this other than dangerous rip currents and high surf, which is always something to be concerned about. I know when you go to Hawaii, what else do you want to do but get in the ocean, hang out on the beach? Probably not going to recommend getting in the ocean right now, going out for a swim with the rip current situation being what it is. Other than that, no significant impacts from Kiko are expected. But you wouldn't know that if you watch some social media or even some legacy media who, even though they are not necessarily saying it, there's this deceptive kind of tactic. They still want to keep you interested. They want to keep that engagement going. And I don't normally do this, but let's do this, all right? This is, I believe, from Fox. And they have a report on this. I want to thank Michelle for sending this to me, even though it got my blood boiling. We'll watch a little bit of this just so you can see how the reporting on Kiko is going.
Now, while the storm is expected to come close by midweek, emergency officials say now is the time to get ready. Here's some advice from the experts.
Yes, get ready for a storm that won't even come close to you.
Emergency officials say it's never too early to prepare for a storm.
Preparedness is always going to be the answer for this.
If you haven't already done so, you could start getting supplies.
Everybody
Officials
panic.
recommend having 2 weeks' worth of food and water, as well as other necessities. Matthew Wells points out the sooner you gather what you need, the better.
Yes, everybody rush to the grocery store because we need more panic buying right now.
Resources can run out.
We are so very isolated out here that it has a great level of importance.
All right, I can't take it. All right, never mind. Look, yes, if you live in any area that is susceptible to hurricanes during hurricane season, you should have a hurricane preparedness kit. That is something I have emphasized for many, many years. I will continue to tell you to do that. Batteries, first aid kit, a gallon of water per day, per person, in your household, minimum. Yeah. If you can afford a generator for your house, get a generator for your house, all that kind of stuff. I understand that. Yes, of course. Make sure you have an evacuation route planned if you have an area that, if you need to evacuate, especially if you're in a low-lying area, all that. Yes. That being said, in that, I wasn't going to play all 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that because it would have made my blood boil, but more so than it already is. But at no time did they say, yeah, by the way, Kiko is not going to be affecting the Hawaiian Islands. It's approaching the islands. And again, we have article after article. The effects of Kiko will begin on Monday. Yeah, this system is weakening to a tropical storm. It'll pass north. Hey, if you head out to the islands north of the islands, yes, this will impact you. Shipping concerns, all of that, sure. But for the common citizen, there might be some breezes out of the north on Tuesday. Maybe early Wednesday. some light breezes at that. Other than that, your typical, morning to early afternoon showers in the windward locations, and that's about it. All right, with that being said, let's move on, because otherwise I could just keep going. But that's a problem that we have in our industry, right? Is the weather messaging. We like to panic people, get people all worked up when they don't need to be. Let's just have clear, concise messaging, and that's what I try to do on this channel. All right, anyway, deep cleansing breath. Here we go. Precipitation outlook valid through Monday morning of next week. Yes, there could be 14 inches of rain, but there won't be. See, that's how the traditional media does it. No, instead, what we're telling you is no rain expected in the valley, not much statewide, generally under 1/10 of an inch. Yes, an isolated storm can always produce more than that, and does this time of the year when they do pop up, but boy, oh boy, we're just not going to see many over the next several days. We're going to tell you why right now as we get to modeling, see what the future may hold. Here we go, the GFS. This is the 12Z run, and this is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. Troughing sits to the west of us. That will more or less become the dominant feature through this week. Now, right now, high pressure sits to the south of us, and we're kind of under its influence. Between the two systems, west-southwesterly flow is gradually drying us out. Now, what it means down at the surface, yes, I said gradually drying us out. We still have this pesky low-level moisture below about 5,000 feet. And so it'll still be muggy today, at least for most of the day. High temperatures topping out around 101 to 104. And that's not far away from where we ought to be this time of year. Isolated showers and thunderstorms, and I mean like really isolated, super isolated. Kind of like, I don't know, maybe not even a 10% chance, probably about a 5% chance if you need a probability based on this. But let's take a look at our high resolution guidance and see what it shows here. This is our HRRR model, the high resolution rapid refresh. This is this afternoon at 4 o'clock, the simulated radar product. And again, the radar may not look exactly like this. It actually has a couple of storms trying to pop up here or move into the valley. All right, could that happen? Yes, could, but very, very small chance. Just like we saw yesterday, I think any storms would be confined to mainly northern La Paz County, maybe the higher terrain, the foothills north and east of Phoenix, but a stray storm somewhere trying to form over the valley, maybe a pulse type storm, not 100% out of the question, but you would be hitting the lottery if you found that. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, for tonight, we turn clear. Overnight lows, mid to upper 70s in the cool spots, still low to mid 80s in the urban core, as we'll still see a little bit of humidity in the overnight hours. Here's tomorrow. Isolated showers and storms over the eastern part of the state. Otherwise, we are sunny. We're drying out. High temperatures will be in the 100 to 105 degree range. All right, as we go to Wednesday, this trough continues to deepen out here in the west over the Great Basin, and the base of that trough gets into Southern California. Some southerly flow starts to develop late in the day on Wednesday, and we might actually see a little bit of moisture advected back northward into the state, especially over eastern third of Arizona. So widely scattered showers and thunderstorms may be possible there. But in terms of anything here in the valley, I just don't see any realistic possibility there. High temperatures still around 99 to 104. Thursday, the axis of that trough is going to start to shift eastward. Again, an isolated storm, maybe just right on the fringes of the East Valley, possible, I suppose. But right now, we're just not mentioning it in the forecast. I think, most of the rain chances will be Gila County on eastward and over the higher terrain of eastern Arizona. And that's going to be about it. High temperatures falling back to around 100 degrees on Thursday. We'll probably stay in the mid and upper 90s on Friday as that cooler, drier air, in air quotes, cooler, drier air works its way in here. Same thing on Saturday. High temperatures, mid and upper 90s. Now, as we go to Sunday, temps might recover just a little bit, back toward around 97 to 101. But the sky remains sunny and the air mass remains dry. Those overnight lows later this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, mid to upper 60s in the cool spots, low to mid 70s in the urban core. It's going to be delightful in the overnight, especially those early morning hours. You want to get out, take a walk. This will be the time to do it. That humidity will be down, and that'll allow, with these longer nights now, temperatures to cool off at least somewhat at night. All right, a week from today, this is Monday the 15th. Still weak troughing to the north and west of us. There may even be a little short wave that comes through here, but that has absolutely zero consequence in terms of precipitation on our weather. Nevertheless, we'll have maybe some light breezes at times in northern Arizona. High temperatures still pretty close to 100 degrees, right around seasonal averages. This is Tuesday the 16th, and it's the same story. You can't see it on this graphic, but just below your screen there, below the Baja, the GFS is generating a fairly potent tropical cyclone down there. You know, that's what the GFS does this time of year. It pops up these rogue tropical systems. Sometimes they actually do develop. Many times they don't, but I thought I'd at least alert you to that being down there. You can see it coming into your frame now as we go out 10 days. This is Wednesday the 17th. And look, our models, some of our deterministic models are actually picking up on this. Some of them move it up the west coast of Mexico toward the southwest U.S. Some of them move it out to sea. Some of them bring it right up into southern and central California. You know, this is 10 plus days out. We are way out in the realm of fantasy. I wouldn't even begin to wager a guess as to where that's going to go. Whenever there's a tropical cyclone in the East Pacific, we always keep an eye on it because they can come up this way. The reason that we had 3.3 inches of rain on this date back in 2014 is the remnants of, I believe that was Norbert, and that that moisture wasn't even a much of a defined circulation anymore, but big moisture plume for Norbert came up here and just dumped copious amounts of rain on us. So that can always happen, but we have a long, long time to watch this. I guarantee you, even on the 18Z run, this solution, I'm sure, will be different. And we're going to see lots of different solutions between now and then. Rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 22nd of September. The ensemble means about a half an inch. And yeah, there's a couple of members that probably favor a tropical type solution, or, you know, one of these big troughs that's coming down the west coast, pulling up tropical moisture at some point. Yeah, that could happen, but it's an outlier situation right now. The European ensemble, about a third of an inch. European AI ensemble, up there over half an inch. And some members really show some robust precipitation out there at or beyond 10 days. And again, not going to worry about that right now. Looking at temperatures off the national blend of models, the trend later this week will be down. Highs, mid and upper 90s. Overnight lows you see in the 70s. Now, again, this is at Sky Harbor Airport, okay? Where you are, unless you live right downtown, very near the airport in the center of the urban heat island. Other than that, your low temperatures will be anywhere from the mid 60s to low 70s in most locations. It's going to feel fantastic by later this week. Once this low-level humidity mixes its way out of here, which is going to still take the rest of today, and we'll see a little bit of that tonight, and dew points will probably fall into the 50s by tomorrow, and then ultimately, by the time we get toward the end of the week, we'll have dew points in the 30s and 40s. It'll be fantastic. So by then, yeah, we'll see those cooler nights really coming on in. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, you want to support the channel, help us out, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. It's called Super Thanks. That would really help. Or PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It is groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal, or our Venmo, which is also linked up down in the description. All of that helps us out, keeps the lights on, and supports the channel, and tells us, hey, you don't want to see this crap right here.
Now, while the storm is expected to come...
Okay, no, I'm got to keep my stress levels down, folks. All right, that's going to do it. Oh, man, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation, the proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Yes, check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Adriana related, and now new and improved Kylie related. It's all linked up down in the description. So yes, check it out. Our streaming station available 24/7, 365 called KMGX. That is linked up down below. And check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, or courtroomfiles.com for your Courtroom Files merch. He supports us, you support him, and that's how it works. It is required viewing. All right? Okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. You guys, I mean, this has been an incredible run for this channel. It's been amazing, and I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, sincerely, it has been fantastic. You guys have really stepped up, and I appreciate it. So, thank you again. Please, though, do be safe out there. All right, and stay cool, stay hydrated, have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Monday.